Hello guys, MetalCoded here. I'm glad that I finally thought about starting this channel and that I finally got the courage to start recording and talking with, well, no one, at least for now. As this is my first video, I'll surely mess up with the introduction, and this is just to my huge level of anxiety that accumulated during my attempts, which actually failed failed until now. Long story short, talking while I was having my mic on mute, or the various tones that my voice could produce, again, due to my anxiety. Well, as a start, I'm just some ordinary guy that decided to create a YouTube channel and use it as a diary and a place to store all the helpful tutorials and my evolution on the development side while creating apps like user and group management apps or human resources apps. Alright, so the reason that I provided for the creation of this channel was a pretty good one, but I think you're wondering why a user and group management app, or why some HR app, why not a game or anything like that. Well, to make it short, I've been working in tech support for some various companies that were using some user-friendly and some not so user-friendly applications, and even if the apps were user-friendly, the human resources team didn't really manage to understand all the functionalities, which resulted in avoiding uh, the usage of any automated process that could compute all the salaries based on various number of attributes, uh, which of course resulted in some not so pleasant events, those being related to the salary and the fact that the salary was sent with the wrong calculations to most of the employees, and this happened on a monthly basis, like every time someone, or I can say that more than 30 people complained about that, and nothing got resolved for the past year. Yeah, not a very short story. It's not yet complete. I still have more, but I will soon provide all the details in most probably in my next videos. If you'd like to hear more events that occurred during my time as a technical support, and I'm sure I'm going to tell some other stories that might help some people into their professional life, hopefully. Yeah, so uh, I don't yet know which app I'll start with, because both of them are a good start, at least for me. So I think I'll figure that out during the time with you guys. So the languages that I'll use for the app will be Python mostly, HTML, CSS, and some JavaScript. Um, so most probably the user and group management app will be an on-premise app and not a web app. And when starting, you might see that I'm not an absolute beginner when it comes to coding, but the reason for that is a story for another time. Well, time to start. First, I will try to code the user authentication in the CLI, and I will use some predefined credentials. Of course, I'm going to make this script in Python. I'm going to use JavaScript only on the front end side and not on the back end. Yeah, as a start, I think I'm going to build a function that will be user auth for user authentication, which will have a username, which will be equal to an input. It will get an input from the console. There will also be a password, which the same will have the same thing. Just a moment. Alright. So we have the username and password. Both will receive an input from the console. First will be the username and the second one will be the password. Now I'm going to try and build some predefined credentials. So let's say that this will be the username, the predefined username, which will be, let's say, MetalCoded, and the password will be, let's say, mtlcd $1. And now we will check if those credentials are true. So we are going to use an if. I think instead of using this is used mostly for in C++, and not here. I'm going to print. So if the username is correct and if the password is correct, I'm going to print authentication successful. Alright. Let's don't forget to add this as a code because these are strings. Alright. I think that let's don't forget to call the function and let's run the code. So let's say, as I have said, one will be MetalCoded, which will be the username. The password will be mtlcd $1. And the authentication was successful. And let's see with an else if we can build an error message, which will say username or password are invalid. And let's do this again. I'm going to enter anything. Right. So the error message works. I'm going to try again with the correct credentials, and it works. To make it to use some less memory than we already used now, I'm going to make this as function inputs. This will be the username and this will be the password. This will be removed. Not before taking this. And now we can remove this, and I think this will be much better. It is more compact, to say so. As you have seen, the password is not masked, so we will have to mask the password in a way. For that I'm going to use pass mask or mask pass. Mask pass. This should be the one. It seems that this is not installed.
2 hours later.
Here, let's add it here, and now let's open the terminal and run this app. Alright, here we go. It should... oh, I think I didn't. Yeah, I didn't configure the password to mask the input. So mask pass.ask pass, and if we run it, we should... yeah, here we go. Well, this one worked. Let's try with some random credentials, and it did not work. So this would be the password password verification script that we will kind of use. We will not actually use this because we will have to make it a bit more complex than this. And yeah, I think that's all for now. I think I have already covered what I would have liked to do in my next video through this script. So most probably my next video will be about how to remember the credentials and some other user data in a JSON file using Python. And also I'm going to build a sign in and sign up script with a CLI menu. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon in my next video.